right, so today I just want to take you guys also through my thought process, in terms of how I'm actually seeing how everything would unfold, based on what I think could happen also. And if you guys have any questions in terms of, how to actually use ICT, maybe in different pairs or maybe in different, time frames, I'm gonna start off with Dow Jones. I'll start off with this. This is something I think Sai doesn't always highlight in some of his videos whenever he's doing his videos. But when you're doing like top-down analysis, you wanna start at 4 hour chart. You wanna start at the 4 hour chart just to understand what kind of trend you are in. You understand? So on the 4 hour, we are still bullish, and as you can see, we're still bullish. We haven't broke any of the higher lows, and this was the previous higher high before this higher high that was created here. You can also take this as a higher high for sure, but when you switch on some of the things, it doesn't really show that much. But let's say you take it as a higher high, it's still fine. It still works well. You can say, okay, now the market gave us a lower low from the downside. And this tool, I will talk about this tool, how to use this tool. Actually, how you use this tool, this higher high, lower low strategy tool, you'll find it on TradingView. It actually helps you, especially when you're on 1 hour and 4 hours. Don't use it when you're down. Don't use it on a smaller time frame. Just use it 1 hour and 4 hours. That's it. So you can understand your levels, know where to put your support and level resistance, where the indication came from. You understand those kind of things, because once you scale down to smaller time frame, then you get to see it even better. But like I said in previous videos, the same analogy still applies whenever it comes to small time frames. You're gonna still have the indication on a small time frame. You're still gonna have the correction on a small time frame. You're still gonna have those continuations on small time frames, and those are specifically for entries. As long as you know that you are in correlation with the bigger time frame, things will get much easier for you, right? So as you can see, it marked those higher highs and higher lows. So these two, they are more of the same. So it will just be one, and then we have this higher low. This I wouldn't count this lower low here, because we had this higher high being created, and then market came down, broke this higher low, and then give us a lower low, right? So now, as you can see, we have a lower low, and then we have a lower high. But in some instances, we haven't broken this low. And even before the market started to rally up, we didn't break this low. You understand? So for me, we might, as much as we might be bearish on the 4 hour, we are also bullish on the 1 hour. So now, if you scale down to 1 hour, that's where you want to also see some of the things, right? So remember, we are bearish on the 4 hour based on the lower low that is created and the higher low. This higher high on 4 hour is higher low, right? So now you had this nice clean correction to you can say that give us an indication by giving us this lower low on the 4 hour, which then made the whole thing now start to be bearish and then started to correct. So this was a more of a correction to the upside on the 4 hour, and then give us that lower high, and then we're looking to get those nice sales based on the 4 hour. But now here's the other thing that we mostly miss out. We are day trading, we're not swing trading. You understand? We are day trading, and those things, they play a role, because whenever you come into the market, especially now around market open, whenever you come into the market around these times, those big moments, those big movements, they usually happen on 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour. That's where you'll get them. And now this is 1 hour. This is what 1 hour is telling you. As much as you are bearish on the 4 hour, you are also bullish on the 1 hour. You understand? So that's what some of the things you want to look at, identify, try to check if those time frames, they're in correlations, right? So now on the 1 hour, we had a nice clean indication to the upside. We had a nice clean indication breaking the lower highs. Now on the 1 hour, we broke the lower high. This gave us now this nice clean higher high. Price came to correct and give us another higher high on the upside, right? We can take this as a lower, this is a higher low, and then before price went up to create another higher high, which is also above this lower high. You understand? But remember, on the 4 hour, this movement, all of this movement here, is correct, is correction. The price is correct in the 4 hour. Right. So now you know, okay, the 1 hour is bullish, but the 4 hour is bearish. But also, like I remember, I did mention that this tool will help you to you know put on those support and resistance levels where price gave us those indication break, those indications where it's breaking the swing highs and swing lows. Now we are on the 1 hour. It's doing exactly that. It gave us those indications. So those indications, those you mark up from higher time frames, it will be those you will use to see where price is breaking. So whenever price is breaking some of those levels, you want to be in correlation with the bigger time frames based on the movement that the bigger time frames might be willing to take, right? So we were looking to take buys because we broke above this lower high, and then we broke above this lower high. We getting those higher highs and these indications to the upside on the 1 hour. Price came down, gave us a higher low, and price started to consolidate around this area. So I was looking to take buys around this area to back to the upside where we had that last indication to the upside where price gave us a higher high, right? But now price didn't go up, so that's the importance of those levels that I was talking about. So now you also want to switch down back to those 15 minutes, 80 minutes, 5 minutes to see where also price is bouncing off. You will also get those, but you shouldn't be using this now. You have to switch this indicator off. Let's start with 15 minutes. You'll get to see that, okay, around certain levels price is actually bouncing. You can see, but price is bouncing this level. So I was looking for price to actually break this level, give me a higher high above this highs that you see here, and then come back to give a retest or a higher low before I can enter a trade to the upside. So then this, remember that the entry method that I was telling you guys, which seems to work best for me. This then becomes your entry when price has come back to slingshot back up. Then this becomes your entry price. You don't enter when price is breaking above, because as much as it can break above, it can still go back down. So now we usually, some people call it a fake out, or a fake breakthrough, a breakout actually. Yeah, a fake breakout or a fake out. So you don't want to be a victim of those things. You want to let price break above, or even if it was below. Like for instance, let's also mark it up here. As you can see, price broke below this level before it started to sell. But then on 15 minutes, you're not getting anything. You can then scale down to small time frames. You're not getting anything also, and enter on 5 minutes. Probably 1 minute will have something for you. You understand? So, but the entry method remains the same. You understand? Remains the same. But yeah, there wasn't really much to enter to use here to take a trade with. But if you don't, then you didn't lose any money. It's not a must that you should be on any single trade that is happening, right? So now remember, going back to the 1 hour, we now the 1 hour is starting to give us those lower highs. Remember, on the 4 hour we are bearish. We have a lower low, we have a lower high at this higher high. Now 1 hour is starting to give us a lower high. So what do you want to see? We want to see a nice clean break below this level, this higher low level that you see here. We want to see a nice clean break below that level before we can start taking any entries to the downside. As much as we know the 4 hour is bearish, we want also to get those smaller time frames to be bearish. But also remember, we still have those indications to say price is still bullish at some areas where it showed you before that price above certain levels is still bullish actually. you know Price is still bullish around certain prices. So those levels will help you very much in terms of marking your charts, in terms of knowing where and when to enter and what direction that the market might go. You don't just say, no, I'm seeing it rallying up, that means the buyers are on. No, no, that it doesn't work like that for me. For me, I see it working best because now you had this initial indication where we had that higher high, that price above this level, above this previous highs, price is bullish, right? So below that, price gave a higher low, and then retested this level and then gave an indication to the downside. Give an indication to the downside to show that below these levels price would be bearish. Same thing, price So also another indication that below this price would be also bearish. Now you can also probably you can make a side, let's say data, you know, and say 4 hour, 4 hour, then you say bearish, just to help, you don't forget. Then 1 hour, then because we just had a lower high on 1 hour, we were bullish, but then we just had a lower high created. You saw also bearish, right? You're also bearish. Now you wanna move. Now you wanna move to also smaller time frames where you will be able to get those entries. Now we know that okay, price below this indication where it made this indication to create this lower low and this lower high and this lower low also. Price below those levels is bearish. So whenever you're looking to to take those entries, you would also switch to say okay, because now we are we are here at this level and I know that price below this level would be bearish. I want to see a nice clean below this and also a nice clean below these levels that price bounced off, this area where price bounced off. You want to see it price coming down, breaking below, retesting that level so you can start selling from that level and probably getting those nice clean entries. What about this? What happened here? uh Oh, I stopped sharing. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Yeah, I was trying to add someone. Okay. So you wanna see it doing that. Now you know that 4 hour, my 4 hour is bearish, my 1 hour is bearish. Now you wanna have your 1 hour also being bearish, breaking the lows, giving you that initial indication by breaking these lows, giving that indication, coming back to probably correct price or retest. You can call it a retest on this small time frame. Then, and then can you wait? All right. And then being able to take those entries around where the initial indication came from on a smaller time frame, where it created maybe a lower low. Probably if it went up, where it created a higher high, and then you waited for it to correct back, giving you a lower low, a lower high actually, or a higher low, and then you can then enter where the previous higher high or the previous lower low was created. Then you can enter, and then you know that okay, my time frames now are in correlation. My 4 hours is bearish, my 30 minutes is bearish also, and then my 15 minute is also bearish. So now it makes much sense for you to be start taking sales around those areas. So that's pretty much how I see it unfolding, and how I see this making these trades, and how you can also help improve your own trading. When it comes to ICC actually, sorry, when it comes to ICC, the indication always the correction and the continuation. So like I said, it also happens on smaller time frames. You're gonna still have those indication where you break in those lows. Even if I were to switch on this indicator, you can still it plots a lot of data, but you don't wanna be, as long as you get your data from higher time frames like 1 hour, 4 hour, then you can know that okay, we have price coming back down to create this low, gave us a lower high now because this high is lower than this high, so it gave us a lower high and came back down. You understand? Another low. These are equal lows. Probably price might shoot up because of these are equal lows. Or some would say what is this, double bottom. Price might shoot up, but you don't want to just enter based off that. At least have more than three confirmations of whatever strategy that you're trading. But in this case, ICC, you want to have that clean, a confirmation of what type of trend you are in. Are we up or are we going down? And then obviously on what the time frames, you want to be also be in correlation with the higher time frames, so that whenever you're taking trades on smaller time frames, they can be on the same path. Any questions, guys, on what I just said on your study? Are you guys are you guys good? No questions. Can I move on?
Can I just ask you a question if you don't mind?
Yeah.
Yeah, concerning this higher high, lower low strategy, I want to see, if you don't mind, can I see your settings? Like when you go to the lower time frame, you see so many, as you said, you should only use it during, what's this? Oh, just four. Okay.
Yeah. But
Oh,
it for me it marks them well compared to the pivot points higher high and higher low. When you look
mm,
at it, because when you look at this, it also points everything out, but it's not really teaching you much for
mm,
someone who still maybe probably leaning support and resistance, because people might think it's overrated, but if we're being real, that's the pure market structure, that's the pure price action that you want to be trading, you understand? So
yeah.
for me it does a better work for beginners, people trying to learn the ropes. So it marks them for you already. And as you can see, this is a 4 hour. Let me just show you the 4 hour actually. That was the 1 hour. And then the 4 hour, it marks everything for you. You have a higher high, you have the higher low. Now, if you were, gonna be looking to take buys, your buys would have came from probably this area, because you know that okay, anything above this price would be bullish, because that's where the indication came from. Now price is correcting back to those levels, and you wanna be there taking those buys on a small time frame. Now you wanna be in correlation with what the movement is from a bigger time frame going up. Same thing here, same story here also. You understand? So now, whenever you scale down to smaller time frames, that's how you wanna be. Be now you just wanna correlate everything that okay, from my top down analysis, 4 hour is maybe bearish, 1 hour bearish. My 30 minutes and 15 minutes are the same. I just want to see it breaking, those higher lows, and then we can start having those lower lows and lower highs. And then you move to 5 minutes and 15 minutes for entries. That's it.
I
That's
see.
it. You
Thank
you aim, yeah, and then you probably for my preference, just aim for 1:3. If your stop loss is like 30 points, just aim for 90. If your stop loss is like 50 points, just aim for 150. You understand? But aim for the next swing low. For instance, if we're gonna be taking a trade, let's say we're gonna be taking sales from this point, the next swing low is this area. This was the indication. It will hit here, yes, but it will go an extra mile. You'll be like, I shouldn't have closed. No, but you can just let it come to this. But whenever it's around this area, if you feel like, I just want to be away from the charts, you can still leave it and then take your profit, and then yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Yeah, same thing with gold. But here I went way deep. Let me just get another pair of gold. Let me see, is it this one? Yeah, let's just get this one. All right. As you can see with gold, we've been very much bullish with gold. Gold hasn't been letting down. It's been just highs, 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 highs. You understand? So you have let me just start off by switching on this. You have this chart showing you, those levels, higher high, higher low, broke up, the indication came from this area, price corrected down back to these highs, shoot back up, also give you another indication to the upside, breaking this higher high, and then give you another high high to the upside. You understand? Now price has been correcting, right? But it's not giving you a clear structure. Like, okay, but we are 4 hour is very much bullish, right? Price, like I said, price corrected before giving you an indication to the upside where it broke above, and you want to see price coming back to these levels, or probably in to these levels before you can start shooting back up. You understand? But you want to also pay close attention to those smaller time frames where everything is currently happening, right? So this is a 1 hour. You had that indication to the upside, and then price correcting back to the downside. So for me, I would have loved it if gold, pretty much corrected back into these levels, where I would have easily, for me, it would have been easily, where gold would have corrected back to this any of these two levels, probably, this level, and then before it can start breaking above, retest this level, and then it can maybe push to the upside to 3,900 price. You understand? So this is what I would have loved to see, but apparently I'm not the one control the market. So we go down to small time frames. We can M30. Okay, there's no release structure. Just price started to fall down. Then you have your 15 minute. analysis. You also want to spot, remember what I said earlier, you also want to spot areas where price
Hmm?
has been bouncing off, you know?
What there?
Sorry?
Yeah, I don't know, because I thought you were done in there.
All right.
So I didn't
Uh,
actually go in there.
but can you
Leave it
mute?
woman.
All right, you just mute. All right. So you see price, you wanna look at levels where price has been bouncing off. You have this price also here, this level where price bounced off this level, and even when it came down, this was a nice clean sell entry that which I sent earlier to the group, where I was showing you guys that I hope that some of you caught that sell entry, which I showed this one that showed that I hope some of you caught that entry. These were the analysis that I sent last night to say I want to see price breaking below that price. So it did do this that the same thing. It came broke below, retested that level and then started to shoot back down, to these levels because any I would have I've seen that okay on smaller time frames on my 15 minute and 5 minute price has been bouncing off this level, so price is showing me that anything above this level would be bearish. You understand? Anything above this bearish, this price, this level would be bearish. If price is coming and breaking up below this and retest this level, I might be looking to sell back to this previous high highs where the indication came from. You understand? But also the same thing that remember from the bigger time frame where the indication happened, which was from this area, it also shows that anything also above this level would still be bullish as much as anything above this 15-minute level of support or resistance depending where price is, it will also be bullish, right? So for us to be taking any entries, and as you can see currently price is rejecting that area, right? It's giving you those higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs around this area. So what you want to see also, you want to see a nice clean break with the higher high, give you a higher low before you can start to take an entry. And your entry, like I said, your entry would come from this, higher high that was created. That's what your entry will be. And then, as much as your stop loss would be, uh, just below the higher low which was created before price started to shoot up. So your entry would look something like this to the upside, and then your stop loss would just be low because you know that anything below here would be bearish. So you just want to be below the higher low that was created. Should price move to the upside, and then you aim for the next swing point, which where the higher high that we had, the all-time high that we have for gold currently is. So you would aim there because now it is much easier because on gold this way because now the 4 hour is bullish, the 1 hour is bullish. So we've been bullish all the way, and you just want to be in correlation with what's happening. Hence, the current trade on this was because we've been bullish, and then I wanted to see also a rejection above this level here, get a nice clean. It went down a little bit, but when it came back up, I started to, get into that entry. Actually, I missed this entry. I missed this entry. So, these were analysis I made yesterday because I make two analysis when it comes to gold, just to see what I have in mind and what actually is gonna unfold and all those kind of things, right? So I had this analysis to say, okay, should it come here? I'll be looking to buy those levels. And then also these analysis now that I just made to say that you see, just like I showed you guys that these levels you will find them on smaller time frames. That I have a level of resistance here because price is below. Is a level of resistance, but once price is above, it becomes a level of support. So a resistance is like a ceiling, support is like the ground up where you bouncing the ball from the ground up. So it gets strength from the bottom to go up. It reaches the ceiling to go down. So what goes up must come down also. So it's more of the same concept. So regardless, I would know that okay, price has shown also that below it can be able to sell below this because now this would be an overall correction. And also when you go to 1 hour, you would see that price actually gave a lower low, in a sense, because if thing. Okay, if price was able to create a higher high here and then these lows were created, that means let's go to 30 minutes. I think it shows better on 30 minutes. Yeah. This is a lower low. So price gave you a higher high and then going to give you another higher high. Now this is a lower low. So if this here price reject this level and starts to shoot also back down, you also want to be in correlation with that, because now you know that okay, we have a lower low here. Price, even if price is correcting, we want to be also be in that move to say, look, we're gonna be taking these moves, because now on smaller time frame, ICT still plays a role on smaller time frames. So that's where everything is. It's just a matter of understanding, that even if a trend is happening, whatever, this might be your higher time frame, 4 hour or 1 hour, and then this might be your smaller time frame. This might be a smaller time frame happening here. You understand? So this is a correction. Yes, that is an indication above these highs. But once you start to break any of these levels, that's when you know the correction is complete. Because I saw somebody asking that question: when do you know the correction is complete? So once you break these, lower highs on a downtrend, you now bullish. And now once it's in correlation with the overall, you can also buy. But also that doesn't limit you, because some of the trends you will find it, you have this trend on the 4 hour, but the 1 hour is the one that is currently correcting. So how do you enter that? The minute, as long as it's also a trend, it will also be the same thing. Also, you're gonna have a downtrend on 1 hour happening. We do these lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. But also on those lower lows, lower highs, you also have another trend which is currently happening, which is the 15-minute, which is making it an uptrend between those levels. So whenever you break any of the trends, you can start aiming for points. You know what I'm saying? So
Staan?
this is how it actually
Ah,
works.
wat is ek onthou? Ehm
you know so yeah, pretty much how everything works. So you guys, any questions? We're about to have a market open right now. Are you guys okay? Any questions, guys?
So how many trades do you take on a day?
To be honest, I take I can be 1 to 3 trades per day. It all depends on the setup. I don't usually take everything, because as much as everything can look good, it is no need for me. Have like street kind of rules that you have set for yourself to say, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I might do. You understand? Look for better A+ setups. You understand? A+ setups, because now look at this USDT trade, right? This No, this is gold actually. Yeah, this is on this gold trade. This is A+, because now it already bounced off the 1 hour higher high, where the indication came from to create that higher high, the all-time high we have, right? It already gave you that. That's one. Two, from the sale that was happening, you're starting to have that price building up with higher highs and lower highs, and higher lows actually, with higher highs and higher lows on a 15-minute, right? That is also a good sign. It's also in correlation with the big movement, with the bigger trend, right? Now, once it breaks above this level of resistance we have here, and it does exactly what I think it will do, I'm taking it. It's an A+ setup for me. You understand? It's an A+, because all of the setup that you might have, not everything is gonna, go all in at once. Even in New York session, not everything will go all in at once. Some might even unfold later on, 4 hours after New York's open, or 2 hours after London session, or some you might even unfold during Asian session. So it's not a must for you to always take a trade or look to be taking a trade. So just try to look for A+ setups, for you. But if you wanna take some risk, yeah, there's no harm in taking some risks, but understand the type of risk that you're taking, that you're willing to take, but that on the trade. You understand? Don't hold your losses, because starting out as a trader, we have this thing where we hold our losses for way too long than we can hold our profits. Once you are in profit, you're thinking, what if it comes back? Oh, what? No, stop doing that. Just let it go. Let it go. Set your trades and let it go. if it hits your stop loss, because one of two things will happen. You either hit a take profit or you hit a stop loss. That's it on trading. So either way, if you hit a stop loss, you hit a stop loss. Either way, you would have lost the entry. The trade. But if you hit a take profit, you hit a take profit, then you would have made money. That's it. So don't say, I want to take so many trades, I want to make this much. No, just take your A plus setups. Aim of 1:3. For me, 1:3 works the best most of the time. As you can see, also this, I'm risking $100 to make $400. For me, 1:3. Once I'm in 1:3 and I see price consolidating around before hitting time and take profit, I'm out, my brother. I don't need to wait for it to hit take profit. Do you know how many trades you would have won if you didn't let it hit take profit sometime? Wait for take profit to hit before price returns back.
Then I see scalpers, they take more than 100 trades per day, 20
No,
pips.
that's not them. More than 100 trades, that's not them. That's those are EAs.
No, they do that, like, they just buy, 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 buy. If it's reversing, they just sell, 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 sell.
No, oh, I understand. You're talking about order staking your orders.
Man, the
You,
scalpers, right?
yeah, you're talking about order staking. You're opening many trades at once.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's
Is it
order staking. No,
profitable or
that's actually one trade. It's one trade. It's orders. That one you talking about. It's just staking your orders. It has no effect whatsoever. You could have just, instead of opening 10 0.01, 0.01, you could have just opened 0.10, just one 0.10. That's basic math. Why you open too many trades? Because they want to show off, they want to do screen recordings and say, no, it doesn't work like that. So yeah, just one trade. That was one trade.
Okay, I have a few questions.
Okay.
All right, cool. Well, it's my first time on, so I'd like to know, how often do you do these Zooms?
I've been doing them, but I haven't been really be posting them on YouTube. But recently, starting from last week, a friend of mine actually encouraged me to say, "Man, look, your videos have been helping me a lot. Can you try to do them regularly every day, and then just upload them so we can always reference back whenever we need to to remind ourselves of certain things that maybe you might have highlighted, and so on. So, but I'm trying to do them every day now. We've been consistent ever since last week Tuesday, so we have those sessions also uploaded on our YouTube channel. So that's how we do it. And also, whenever maybe I have my thought process on a certain trade that we looking to take, I would send it on a group. You understand? So I'll just maybe do a 5 minute or 7 minute or 10 minute video, then I will send it on a group just to explain my thought process behind the trade. Whether we won it or we lost it, but I would explain what came about. The trade and everything.
And if and when you do them, is it the same time in the morning?
No, it's actually they usually random. I don't have schedule yet to say it will be around this time most of the time, because I have other obligations. I have other companies that I actually own, that I actually do things with. I'm situated in South Africa, so most of my mornings can get very hectic for me because I'm into the mining space, and the consultancy space in terms of the mining capital, raising and all those kind of things. So my mornings can get very hectic sometimes, and whenever maybe I might not upload a day on a certain day, it will be because I'm on site or at a mining site, we busy with something. But I'll try to make up for that, maybe make a video, for that, so that when I'm not available that day, it can probably premiere on that day. But yeah, pretty much. Just to add on, we left with 3 minutes, guys. So yeah.
Well, fine. Great job. I just want to commend you. Great job. I found the site just recently, and I've been following. So I thought, let me jump in and see what's going on. I'm absolutely new to it, messing about for about a year now, but doing nothing of consequence with it. But hopefully, I want to turn the tides for the rest
All
of the
right.
year. Now, I would like to take a trade today, for example, on gold. I'm a gold person. I don't do NASDAQ nor the other stuff. I really stick with gold, EU, and BTC.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm at gold now, you were, well, I probably will have to go back to this. How long from now will you post it?
I think it will be in the next 5 to 10 minutes. It will be up once the meeting is done. It will be up in the next 5 to 10 minutes. But remember, now as you can see, I'll try to send also this analysis to the group just so you can also remind yourself that you're looking for price to break above. So you see, we're looking to have it break above this level, give us that higher high, and then that higher low, and then or based on the high that was created above the level of support of resistance or support that we have here, then you can take that entry to the upside and aim, and your stop loss will just below the higher low. Just don't take it to the higher low, just below it, probably maybe 2 points below that higher low. And then your lot size, learn to adjust your lot size. I don't know if you have MetaTrader where you're trading, but if you're using MetaTrader 5, learn to use that clock kind of a tab that is on when you find it on the chart, when you analyze your chart on the MetaTrader 5 on your phone. There's a clock at the top there. You can use that to actually see how much you risk in per trade before you actually get into the trade. So you can adjust the stop loss and your lot size in terms of taking those trades. So if you're risking $50, you can risk $50 per trade, and your stop loss will still be where you want it to be. So that's how it will be. So it will be always be, if you're aiming for 1:3 risk to reward, it will be 1:3, or it will always go like that. Or you can use the Forex calculator to actually get those things. But I get it can be, kind of confusing to some, but for others, I think the simplest way to go about it, just use your Meta 5 trader. You can look for a video online, maybe search how to, set a stop loss or whatever using Meta 5 trader. Probably you can get a video like that. So we're busy about to break above this level, as you can see. But yeah, guys, we done now. 30 seconds left. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you so much. We'll talk again.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for attending and taking the time.
Thanks,
Thank you very much.
Spencer. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye. Cheers.
Thank you, bro.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.